Hey everyone, welcome to another edition. I know it's been a while since I did it. The last one I did was on SWATcast, but welcome to another edition of the Cartoon Flashback. Now, I've talked about a lot of cartoons from the 80s and the 90s and some even from the 70s. But there's one cartoon that I was been thinking of talking about, and many of you may know about it, but some of you may not know about it. This cartoon aired in the late 1960s. As a matter of fact, it was one of the very first cartoons in which it was based around a musical band. You don't know what it is? Well, I'm about to tell you. In fact, I'm going to pull it up here on my iPod, hopefully, and give you the information. And the show I'm talking about came around the time that, and I'm sorry for that bit of a pause, just a bit there, but came around the time that three of this band's albums came out. Now let me just type in the name. Here it comes. We should find it right here. Let's go to Wikis. They like to call it Wikipedia. People like to call it Wikis. Then Carr like to call it Wiki, so I don't know why. But here it is. The series I'm talking about, I don't know if it's got a picture or not. I guess it doesn't. But the cartoon I'm talking about is The Beatles. That's right. The Beatles had a cartoon series from the 1967 to 1969. And again, it came out around the time three of the albums were being released. Revolver, Rubber Soul, and Magic Mystery Tour, or Magical Mystery Tour. And yes, it came out before Yellow Submarine, but it kind of inspired Yellow Submarine, from what I can assume. It did inspire Yellow Submarine, which was pretty awesome. Although Yellow Submarine, even though a cartoon for the entire family, was a little bit more mature than what you would see here. But let's see if I can find it. But it is true, the series did come out, and the first season ran for about 25-26 episodes on ABC. The following season only had about 6 or 7 new episodes, the same with the third season. The reason for this was real simple. Here we go, this might be a good picture to pull up. Maybe not. But it was a good show. No doubt about that. It was a good show from what I said. It was made by the same people that made the 1960s version of the Popeye cartoon series, and a few other series I can't think of right off the bat. But this series was a success. It was a huge rating success, obviously, for ABC, and like I said, ran for 3 seasons. And then after that, it disappeared into obscurity. I don't know if it went into syndication afterwards or what it did. But the series disappeared after that. There we go. That might help. Now, I don't know if you could see that. I don't know if you could really see that, but that's the proof there was a Beatles cartoon. Now, the Beatles themselves did not do the voices. They did not do the vocals, like the speaking voices. However, the songs were incorporated into the series. That's right, the songs were incorporated into the series every time it was every time a song was needed. As a matter of fact, every cartoon they had about 2 11-minute cartoons. Well, not 11 minutes, but well, actually it was about what, 7 minutes, I think. 2 7-minute cartoons, I believe. And then they would have, in the middle of the show, they would have 2 songs, 2 kind of like, I guess you could say animated music videos for the time, if you will, playing in between. You would have a Beatle, whether it was John, Ringo, but either it was John or Paul or George, introducing that song and introducing that music video along with Ringo's help, if you will. In other words, whatever help Ringo did in the cartoon kind of backfired. But anyway, in the middle of the episodes, they would always have 2 music videos, or 2, well, sort of like music videos, if you will. They were like sing-alongs. Basically, you read the lyrics and you sang along to it, but it was like a music video. And at first, the music videos during these little like intervals, if you will, well, you know, it starred the Beatles. You had the Beatles, like Ringo or George, all 4 of them, just just doing things, just representing what the video what the song and the video was about. But as we got into later years, it became more obvious that it was being influenced by the Beatles, because you saw more of just regular pictures. Like you saw, like Penny Lane, you saw a bunch of pennies and all that, and in Strawberry Fields you saw eyes, and it was just totally different. But again, that was one of the things. But again, that kind of those songs were about, I guess at the time the Beatles songs were about 2-3 minutes. So you had 2-3 minutes in between, so about 6 minutes almost of songs combined with 2 7-minute cartoons. So you basically had about 22 minutes altogether, or 21 minutes, I guess. But anyway, the unique thing about the Beatles cartoon, which nobody knows about, and you have to Google it. If you're new to the Beatles and you want to find out more about this, just Google it and look at Wikipedia. The one thing about it is that each episode was named entitled after a song. And the name of that song it was titled after, of course, would be sang during the episode. They would sing it during the episode. Like there was episodes like not the episode, but during the cartoon. You know, some of the cartoons had titles like Help and Strawberry Fields Forever. They had All My Loving was one of the title songs. I can't, you know, I mean, just all the songs basically at the time, from the earlier albums like Help and Hard Day's Night to later on, like I said, with Revolver and Rubber Soul and Magic Mystery Tour, all were there. The songs that they chose were there. Now some episodes did later on repeat the same videos, like when the intervals, like the little breaks happened and they did those videos, those little sing-along videos. Sometimes they'd be the same songs. You know, I mean, yes, you might say, well, why didn't they use any other songs? Most of the songs, they had a huge variety. They have a huge, library. Well, you got to remember, some of the songs may have not been appropriate, maybe, for young kids. Because remember, kids were watching this, mostly on ABC Saturday mornings. But, again, because of the fact that some of the songs, in my opinion, may have been a little too risky, or risque, if you will, maybe too complicated for kids to understand and sing along to, they just used what they had. And if they repeated, they repeated, which was okay, because if you missed it the first time, you got to see it another time. So, and another thing about the Beatles cartoon series, which was kind of cool, was just like any cartoon series, even today, anytime you entered a new season, you had a new intro. And they had a new intro. And all the intros were done by songs that they had done at the time. Like the first season's intro song, the first season's intro and intro song was Can't Buy Me Love, which obviously was off one of the very first albums. the second season intro was off of Help. It was the song Help. So that was that second season intro. And then the third one was a little bit more different. See, the first two intros, if you will, were more cartoon-like. They're being chased by the female fans, and they're trying everything they can to get away from the female fans and get to where they gotta go, like the destination, like the next concert. But the third season intro was a little bit more different, and it used actual live pictures of the Beatles at the time the third season was being filmed. You know, when they had the mustaches and everything. Which was pretty cool. And the intro song for that was And Your Bird Can, and the intro song for that, I'm trying to say, was And Your Bird Can Sing. So it was pretty cool. Now, if you're interested in watching these cartoons, I can say this. You could do what I did, and that's go online, find a torrent, and download the entire 3 seasons. That's what I did. Or, if you're lucky enough, try to find the DVD box set. From what I've seen, obviously, there is a DVD box set, but I don't know if it's on for sale here in the US or if it's just for sale in the UK. We don't know. But try to check that out, and if you can't do either of those, go on YouTube, put in Beatles cartoon, and you'll find it. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me, it's worth a watch. I mean, you'll enjoy it. It's a great show. Again, it's done by the same people that did the Popeye cartoon series back in the 60s when it went into syndication, as well as some other ones that I can't think of right off the bat. As well, you get what I'm saying. Now, for those of you like me that grew up in the 80s, you may remember that the Beatles cartoon did get replayed on Nickelodeon and MTV on Saturday mornings and on weekdays. Weekdays was, if I remember correctly, was Nickelodeon. Saturday mornings was MTV. And I believe it was the only cartoon MTV had on at the time. So, but yeah, it was replayed for a couple of years on Nickelodeon and MTV. And then it went off the air and hadn't been seen since. And I think now people are rediscovering it through DVDs and through torrents and whoever has had access to like the master tapes and everything. Because obviously I found somebody whose torrent that I downloaded with all the episodes was from like the master tapes, the one they would put into, the ones that they would insert into the main feed, if you will, to be aired all over the world, all over the country. But again, the Beatles cartoon is a cartoon you have to check out. It's really, really good. It's really, really good. And, excuse me for a second. And it's definitely something to check out if you want to. Definitely check it out. And again, and you know what's funny about this? A lot of people say that shows like Sonic Underground don't need music videos in them. They don't need singing in them. You know that, to get the story progressed. Well, I did a video about that. You could check that out. But this just proves that even back then with the Beatles, and even before then with the Alvin show, a song helps move the story along, even if it's not necessary. But anyway, that's all I have to say for this edition of Cartoon Flashback on the Beatles cartoon from 1967-1969. Again, if you're interested, Google it, look on YouTube, torrent it, and that's all I'm going to say. Thank you all for watching, and I'm out.